Alright. So, before we continue, I should say that um, there was something I did forget to kind of include in what I was talking about. And that was that when I was talking about the orcs from a cultural background, I actually didn't really point out that there's actually a lot of individuality amongst the orcs people. The thing is, while there are some cultural expectations at times, when it comes to the background of the culture and the race, the thing is that there's a lot of various different types of orcs. Like, there's very violent orcs, there are very peaceful orcs, there are very diplomatic orcs, there are, there are evil orc warlocks, there are, like, loving, orc priests, there are seers, there are, there are two races in Warcraft that have lots of various different kinds of individuals amongst their people that are different when it comes to cultural, like, background and such. Humans and orcs, which is kind of funny considering, all the stuff that I've mentioned about, considering that the first game was called Warcraft Orcs versus Humans. So, but, just with, like I said, the same thing applies to humans. There are so many different kinds of humans. Let's ignore the fact that humans were a byproduct of the Vrykul. We found this out in Wrath, that humans were not a natural race, but they came from the Valjar. And of course, we know that the orcs, according to the chronicles, they had somewhat of a similar type of origin story in that they came from ogres. And of course, being from another planet, from Draenor. So, and then of course, they were found by the Burning Legion to use them as an army, to invade Azeroth, and yeah. So, anyways, what I'm trying to say is that when I was talking about the cultural mindset and expectations, that was, to try and explain something about Nazgrim, while not realizing that I was also contradicting that there are many different types of orcs that while some of the cultural expectations and such don't necessarily meet the actual mindset of some of the various different kinds of orcs within the orc people. Because not every orc is the same. There are so many different kinds of orcs. But that's one of the things that I find fascinating about their people.
Sug.
Executed with quickness and discretion. A job well done. I must send you back into the fields again, warrior. You will find large numbers of scopids northwest of here. Bring me 8 of their tails. The antidote for their sting is actually made from venom extracted from their stingers. We keep large quantities of antidote for scorpid venom on hand to heal young bloods just like you. But I'm sure you won't be needing any of that, will you?
Go forth to victory. Loktar.
Ah, wonderful. As promised, here is your cactus apple surprise, plus a little something extra.
Go forth to victory.
So, Galgar here is an example of what I'm talking about. And he doesn't necessarily show it in his dialogue here, but he is a cook amongst the orcs. And the thing is that orc culture tends to reward those who really push themselves hard. And they take a lot of pride in what they do. I will cook this amazing meal for the Horde. That's kind of like some of the cultural, ideal stuff. I'm trying to my best to help get this kind of point across about their culture. People, and what's one of the reasons why I really like the orcs, as a race.
McGraw.
This is a great quest, and this is something that was around in vanilla and they kept because, of course, many players love this quest.
Cursed peons! They work hard gathering lumber from the trees of the valley, but they're always taking naps. I need someone to help keep the peons in line. You look like the right orc for my task. Here, you take this blackjack and use it on any lazy peons that you find sleeping on the job. A good smack will get them right back to work. Return the blackjack when you're done. Look for them underneath the trees in the valley. Lousy slacking peons.
May your blades never dull.
The music of Durotar.
Where are those lousy, stinking peons?
Scorpions. So the only thing I don't like about arms is how slow it takes to generate rage, your resource that you need.
I don't have a target.
Go to keep a watch out on him. Aha!
I can do that.
I can do that. Okay, I'll get back to work. Work.
And just like that, we're already level 5. Gosh, this XP boost.
It's too far.
Love it. As you can see, I've already set up the mounts I will use. Hey, wake up!
Still recharging.
Me, not that kind of orc.
Oh, hi, Vile Familiars. I hated these guys when I went through this zone in Classic. I know. You can keep your comments to yourself.
Target.
Because I know what people are going to say, and I just don't want to hear it. I didn't say anything negative about Classic. All I said was I didn't like these guys when I did this zone in Classic. That's all I said.
Okie dokie.
Just was resting eyes. Back to work now.
Gotta be careful with the amount of orc voices. Doing an orc voice is hard on the throat. I have a feeling my throat's gonna get pretty sore doing this starter zone. I just don't have the, the intense growl in my voice like Chris Metzen does, which is why he does Thrall's voice so
Leave me
well.
alone, kid.
Okay. Work.
Now, of course, level 5 would be the level where we would get one of our very first class-specific quests, including possibly from the trainer. I remember at level 5, when I tried this out in Classic as an Orc Warlock, it was like you had to go down into that area I showed you where the cages were, and that's where the trainers were, especially specifically the Warlock trainer, and he would tell you about how, Warlocks are very much shunned in their, these days by everybody because they're Warlocks, and so you had to meet them out there. Whereas my Shaman trainer was like just out here in the open when I made a Shaman when Classic went live. And it was just kind of like, man, look at the different feel for what it's like between just making a shaman and also making a warlock. It just feels so different, and I really liked that.
Speak, friend.
No good, lazy. Oh, do you have my blackjack? Did you catch any peons sleeping on the job? Good, good. Maybe they'll think twice before slacking next time. Thanks for the
Strength. Strength and honor.
There is an important lesson that you must take away from fighting scorpions. The smallest or largest of opponents can still send you to your doom. In fierce combat, any number of things can prove your downfall. I have no more to teach you. You have done well, and I will watch your progress with interest.
Dabu.
Lukta.
I trust the Valley of Trials would teach you much, young warrior. I was sent to the valley to guide you, but I have discovered a growing taint here. One of the Burning Blade, a foul demon-worshipping cult, has made camp here in the Valley of Trials. He skulks in a cave to the north, and his vile familiars have spilled from its mouth to cause havoc. As your first task against the Burning Blade, I bid you defeat these familiars, slay many, and if you survive, return to me.
Go with honor. Who you be?
Hey man, take a knee and hear me out. We got a problem. A good friend of mine, Hanazua, has gone out into the valley and he hasn't returned. Last I seen, he was heading north with the scorpions hunt. Maybe you go take a look for him. The spirits be telling me that he's not well.
Okie dokie.
What
Trainer. Like I said, the trainers are just kind of out here now, as opposed to in there. But as I said, it was more so that there was the warlock trainer specifically who was in there. Now I remember doing this right here, this next portion right here, seemed to be a little weird. I couldn't tell like if it was bugged or not. Like I said, a good chunk of the stuff from the classic version of the Star Zone stayed here in the Cataclysm version. Yeah, this is why he hasn't returned. But when he's surrounded by this many scorpids, is it really that surprising? Yeah, he's still alive, but he's in a lot of pain.
Oh yeah, I thought I would die out here with none to know of it. While I was hunting the scorpions of the valley, I came across a particularly vicious-looking one. Hurling myself at it, I managed to inflict a massive blow to its claw before it closed around my leg. I wasn't ready for its stinger though, and it sliced down into my chest, cutting into my flesh and letting my blood... Please, you must kill the scorpion for me. My honor must be upheld. I fought it up on the plateau to the south.
Ah, yes. The Sarkoth quest. So can I... So... So when I tried this out in Classic, and there were even screenshots of this being posted online when Classic went live, there was a line of players just waiting to kill Sarkoth. Because that's basically how it was. You had to wait for it to respawn to get your shot at getting credit for the quest. Yeah. You want to know why I get very hesitant about making comments about comparing it to what to the version that's in
I need to get closer.
how it was in vanilla, or in this case WoW Classic, because as opposed to just saying this is what it was like back in vanilla, with WoW Classic being out, it's just easier to just simply say this is how it is in WoW Classic. I get so hesitant because I feel like anytime I'm going to say anything related to WoW Classic, or to compare this starter zone to the version of the starter zone in WoW Classic, I feel like I'm going to risk getting attacked. Like, not in the physical sense, but in the harassment sense. You know, verbally attacked, verbally harassed by the amount of people I have seen in various different places that are very clearly just die hard, will defend it till they die fanboys of the vanilla version of WoW. And some will still say that about Classic, though it's funny how many will say Classic is not vanilla. You know. Which I find kind of amusing, but... Alright, so there is Sarkoth. Clearly a bigger Scorpid than the others. And everything in here is still yellow. You'll notice that. He's not hostile. He's just still yellow. I mean, let's keep in mind, this is the tutorial zone. So the idea is that, of course, not everything's going to be hostile to you. Because the idea is that for a brand new player, you want to make this as smooth of a way for them to kind of get, you know, broken into the game as much and as smooth as you can. Having everything here be hostile to you would make a brand new player here feel very overwhelmed. You know, you don't get someone who's brand new to a game like this into it by throwing them into an instance where there's tons of powerful enemies that they just get overwhelmed because they don't know what to do. They're still learning how to even play the game, and they just, you know, get killed over and over and over and over nonstop. They're just gonna quit and never touch the game again. I mean, you can't do that when you're trying to get more players to want to play this game. That's just a very common... Does that... I feel like that should be something I should say, that should be a very, you know, expected kind of mindset, but apparently there will be some people that will still vehemently disagree with that kind of opinion, which it just boggles, you know, my mind. But, you know, as I also will say, to each his own. My blow was not enough to kill him, but looking at the damage I inflicted gives me some small measure of pride. That small measure would be all I have to sustain myself if I die. And in that light, the short list of my life's accomplishments fills me with anger. Seeing the deed that you have done for me steals my heart. Go swiftly, my fate is in your hands. For me, steals my heart. I cannot fall so easily. I must endure. But it remains that I cannot make the trek back to our settlement unassisted. Please, return and tell Gornek of my situation. Perhaps he can help me. And I will get a bag for this. Oops. Orc Hunter is also a pretty good choice. Hunter or Warlock is a good choice for an Orc because they have a racial passive that their pets do more damage. At least I think that's what the passive is. It's either they do more damage or they have more health. Yeah, they do more damage. I believe the Maghar Orcs is that their pets have more health.
Greetings.
You have done well. Although the vile familiars were merely pets of the darker powers within the Burning Blade, your success against them foretells greater deeds ahead. Through my divinations, I see that an item of power, a medallion, hides deep within the Burning Blade Coven, guarded by beasts and black magic. We must have it. For too long, these demon worshippers have defiled our homelands. Cleanse the coven of its demonic taint by slaying the fell beasts and their leader. Return with this medallion as proof of your deed. Go. You will find the coven in a cave to the north.
May your blades never dull.
What do you need?
Papaneeks, you are a dependable orc. Can I count on you for another task? Some time ago, I was surveying the cave to the north for minerals, and I left my favorite pick behind. When I later returned to retrieve it, I found the cave was filled with vicious beasts. Will you go into the cave, the Burning Blade Coven, and get my pick? I left it in a chamber with waterfalls. My pick has a spell on it, so you can see it in the dark, so you won't have to worry about finding it, just what's guarding it.
Go forth to victory. Loktar!
From your description of the beast, I believe you must be speaking of Sarkoth. Huh, it is no wonder that Hanazuo was overtaken by it. Aid will be dispatched to him immediately. Trouble yourself no more with Hanazuo's plight. However, I must say, I am most impressed to hear that you brought Sarkoth to death. It is a feat to be proud of, and that you would fight for a stranger's honor, while other tasks occupied your time. Your own honor is heightened. The girdle of honor.
For the Horde!
As you can tell, honor is a very, very relevant thing amongst orcs. I should stop saying that. Amongst orcs and their culture. They very much are, elevate, honor
Some.
amongst their people. This is a really good item to get at the beginning because you get that. If you eat it, you'll get an extra bit, 1 point of stamina for 15 minutes. Yeah.
Go forth
Okay.
to victory.
Who is he saying hello to? I wonder if he's actually, looking for players to ask something about. Oh, hey, we just had someone fly here. It's a level 90 Orc Shaman. Oh. Oh, wait. Yeah, the Orc Shaman is using the Sandstone Drake and is carrying around a friend of his who is a Tauren Shaman. Level 55, because they're 55 so they don't have flight yet. Okay. Huh. Wonder why they would come here. Unless they're just doing very... Oh, because even at level 55, you can still do easy quests here to get XP. That's actually kind of smart if you're doing this very smart or very quick leveling. You just do very quick, simple, easy little starter quests here, and you're still getting lots of XP, even at from level 1 to level 60. And the fact that he's got a friend helping bring him around so he can do that, that's pretty cool. That's a really cool friend right there to help out do that. Alright, to the cave. Man, doing this cave in WoW Classic was an interesting experience. Not saying good or bad, I'm saying interesting. That's all I'm saying. I'm just gonna stay with that. Look, I love Durotar, okay? I have fond memories of it. So I don't want anyone thinking I'm speaking ill of Durotar. Or rather that I'm speaking ill of the Durotar in WoW Classic, because I'm not. I don't think it's bad. I just thought it was interesting, and seeing the difference here between these two is just interesting. That's all I'm saying. Now, why did it stop tracking those? There we go. I do have to kill 5 fellow Starkers. And get the medallion. The fellow Stalkers and the Vile Familiars in here, yeah, a lot of people would die to these. Trying to get through this cave, trying to get to the guy in here that has the medallion, because it's a boss in here, like one of the leaders. And then also trying to find the pick. So, there's the 5. So I believe, yeah, so you can even see the map here. There's the pick down there. But you would make your way over here. Try to fight through all these things. I don't have to fight these things because they're yellow, because this is the tutorial zone. And you would find the boss right here. Obviously, someone's killed him, and I have to wait for him to respawn. But there's a boss right here who's you have to fight in order to be able to get the medallion from. So let's just wait a bit for him to respawn. Actually, in the meantime, while we're waiting for him to respawn, let's just head down over here to get the pick. And then we'll come back. So one of the ways to see where the pick is, I believe it's like near some water. Yep, right there. So you can see it's like, I remember like there's a waterfall right here, and then you can see there's the pick. There we go. Got it. Now you could go around, but then you're gonna have to figure out a way to jump around. People would usually do that because there was like less of a hassle with the trash in here that you had to fight through in order to get to him up here. And let's be honest, a lot of players will usually take the road with the least amount of obstacles, the easiest path. After all, this is why usually if you join a group to do stuff... Oh, this is interesting. He used to... So in Classic, he would be up here, and you had to make your way and jump up here, up this pathing, in order to get up here to have a shot at fighting him. They just decided, let's just put him down here. Use my racial, which is increasing my attack power by 5 for 15 seconds. It's called Blood Fury. Because as we learned from the Lords of War animation from Warlords about Durotan, any orc can lose himself to the bloodlust, to the rage inside. Any orc can lose himself to that. That was a very, like, even, that one on Durotan. Whew. Ugh. Lost himself to it. Accidentally killed his wolf companion. His mother saw him and said she would have rather died than see him lose himself to it. And then wore his friend's fur as in honor of him, but also as a reminder to never lose himself to that again. I should also say one of the things of why I've become such a fan of the orcs is that there's a lot of orcs that I've just, absolutely loved. Orcs like Durotan, Drekthar, Sourfang, numerous orcs that have, Thrall, numerous orcs that have just been awesome that I've just loved as characters.
McGraw.
Did you find my pick? Ah, great, you got it. Thanks a lot. This is my favorite pick. Now if the peons ever finish chopping down those trees, maybe we can find a nice cave to mine.
For the Horde.
Strengthen.
Execute.
You retrieved it. Well done. Your efforts within the Burning Blade Coven are key in rooting out this cult in the Valley of Trials, but I fear that they have further aims in our land. We have not seen the end of them. Your trials against the Burning Blade are finished here in the valley, but I want you to report your findings. Go to the troll village of Senjin and seek out Master Gadrin. Senjin village is east out of the valley, then right at the fork. Tell Gadrin that of the Burning Blade and that they have reached the Valley of Trials. Discover from him if they have yet reached Senjin. Go, Papaneeks, and be swift. I fear that the evil found in the Burning Blade Coven is but the herald of a larger threat.
Go forth to victory.
I thought there was supposed to be another quest here involving a parchment and my warrior trainer. But I guess not. If there is, I'll come back and figure it
Insane.
out. I'll try and look into that in between. So here's where the Warlock Trainer is now. Just out here. Keep in mind, obviously, with things going on in Cataclysm, it's a little different now. Compared to what it was like in Vanilla, where the idea of the Warlock Trainer being hidden in the very back there, and you had to go in to meet him if you chose to be a Warlock, and he's like, yes, you had to meet me in here because they don't really accept us around. We're not very well liked by, well, anybody. I mean, that makes a lot of sense. You know, with them being out here now, it's just also speaks of how things are a little different nowadays in Cataclysm compared to what it was like back in Vanilla. Let's just say some of the level of threat kind of stepped up, especially with the Cataclysm happening, you know. Orc Shaman. I actually did consider playing a Shaman again, but I had already showed you guys playing a Shaman when I played the Troll. And as I said, I want to at least show off each of the different classes in these starter zones. And this was the only warrior that I had in mind when it came to the starter zones. I have other... there were a couple I've still been going back and forth on, but I was looking at the other ones, and the only one I decided to go with as a warrior was an orc. Compared to some of the other ones, I was like, well, I guess I could do this, So now we've left the Valley of Trials, and we've made it to Senjin Village. We finally have a Flight Master. We also have an inn that we can bind our Hearthstone to. So now we'll be able to help out our good friends, the Trolls. Because, of course, now Vol'jin and the Darkspear are good buddies here. Because, of course, they are. As I showed you guys in the Echo Isles, where we had Vol'jin communicate with Thrall about that. So here's Gadrin. We actually get to see him again later on, even up to BFA. Your report comes at a bad time. The Burning Blade is no longer seen here in Senjin, but we will be vigilant in our efforts to prevent their return to the area. The orcs are friends of the Darkspear Trolls, honorable friends. We want to help the orcs, but we need help too.
Good luck. And
Oh man, this ain't good. Oh, not one bit, man. Thrall's off to sea, Vol'jin's taking care of business in Echo Isles, and old Master Gadrin is left behind to take care of Senjin. And then what happens? Those humans come out of Northwatch Hold and set up camp in our backyard. Lucky for us, they just got here, and they're still setting up their base. You can help out old Gadrin by destroying those big supply crates that they carry, and by killing the laborers carrying them. You'll find them to the southwest.
just remember, not everything regenerates.
Hey, man.
What you'll be craving.
Bombay. Hey, man. Bombay be working on some new mojo. You wanna try a piece of it? Well, before you do, Bombay's gonna need you to pick up some jujus. First, Bombay needs you to get some more of the goop from the crabs down by the water. Let me see your hands. Bombay gonna need 5 handfuls. Go on now. There's the mount guy over there. In case you want to get your raptor mount. So, all right. Hold on. I just realized I never changed up the tracking thing here. There we go. Wait. Oh, wait a minute. I just realized that apparently
Greetings, man.
we actually don't have a inn here at Senjin. My bad, guys. I forgot there actually isn't an inn at Senjin. The first one we actually get is not Senjin Village. It's up at Razor Hill. Derp. Alright. So, in that case, because I'm going to go ahead and stop here. And I can just kind of set up the Flight Master here. So we're going to just drive on past Tiragard Keep. By the way, that's where the Echo Isles is. And then up here is where the North Keep that they're talking about that the humans are at. That's where they're located, basically. You can even tell with the ships that are there. So, you know, and right over there you can see is Booty Bay. So, you know, you go to the Northern Barrens. Let me try and show a little better here. Alright, so you can see right there. And then you move down here to Southern Barrens. There's the Dustwallow Marshes. And then, of course, right over here is Theramore. So, alright, so there's Tiergard Keep. We'll be doing stuff there later. We'll be doing stuff there later, just not yet. Right now we're just trying to get to Razor Hill just so we can bind our Hearthstone somewhere, because right now it's still bound to the Valley of Trials, and this is the closest inn that you get as either an orc or a troll when you start off. And Razor Hill is like one of the first like horde cities you'll come across, with the exception of St. Village, of course. Like I said, we'll be doing the questing here, and there's going to be quite a bit, you know, a number of quests here in Razor Hill to pick up as well. They're going to have to do with what's going on over here, and eventually lead to us heading to Orgrimmar. But we'll be doing that later. That'll be for later. Alright, so there's the Flight Master, so we can quickly fly back to St. Village. Like I said, we're not doing the questing just yet. Not yet. We're just here to bind our Hearthstone.
Magraw. Strength.
There we go. Thank you, Grosk. So one of the things I like to do, I don't know how many others do this, sometimes if I decide, okay, I'm done with this character for the day, I come to an inn like here, I get here, I get on the bed, slash, sleep. And then I log out. I just like the idea that my guy is actually going to sleep and rest. So once he's done sleeping and resting, we will head back to St. Village and help out the Darkspear. Stay tuned.